just not. How advanced is going to be? Oh, there's a crash across the line. 2 riders down across the line. Silver and...
Sooner or later, every pro cyclist will have an appointment with the tarmac. But considering they're paid to ride their bikes, you'd think they'd be better at staying on the damn thing. So just why is it that they crash so much? First up, it's human error. Human error accounts for most of the crashes in the pro peloton. Have you ever tried to make important split-second decisions while at your absolute physical limit? The brain can go a bit fuzzy. Each race contains between 100 and 175 riders. And when riding in the peloton, it's not that uncommon to be able to reach out and touch 4 or 5 different riders at once. Riding close together at speeds above 50k an hour and with a heart rate pumping up at 180 beats per minute, it's inevitable that mistakes are going to happen. There's also the argy-bargy that happens through races. Although not strictly legal in the eyes of the UCI, a quick shoulder here or a hand there is recognised as fair game. A simple lapse in concentration and touch of wheels can result in a domino effect and send bike riders and carbon tumbling along the road. You can see why a simple touch of wheels is arguably the biggest cause of crashes in the pro peloton. Professional cycling is one of the only sports in the world where the playing field is ever changing, with unforeseen obstacles along the way and unpredictable routes are actively sought out. Imagine a professional football match where a tree suddenly pops up from the ground and tackles a player. That's a professional cycling race. Potholes, road furniture, corners, curbs, cars and spectators, to name but a few things, can all cause crashes in the pro peloton, and you never know what's going to be around the next corner. It's impossible to find the limit of your equipment without going past it. For example, it's rare that you'll see a pro cyclist crashing on a descent, but when they do, it's often trying to eke out every single bit of performance from their equipment. Dare to take that corner a little bit faster, and your tyres might give way underneath you, or they might not. It's a pretty thin line. We also see this in time trials. Staying in the aerodynamic position for as long as possible is faster, which means riders take risks on the corners, and getting it wrong on a TT bike is bad news, especially being so far from the brakes. Equipment failure is the nightmare of every cyclist. It's rare, but when it does happen, it's spectacular. Think Mathieu van der Poel at the Tour of Flanders in 2019 or the Australian pursuit team at the Tokyo Olympics. From snapping a chain to a wheel suddenly disintegrating, a crash of this proportion isn't going to be pretty, and a risk of cursing ourselves, we're going to leave that one there. Finally, there are always those horribly wet, windy or cold days where you thank your lucky stars that you don't have to go outside. From crazy winds that take riders into ditches, we're looking at you, Geraint Thomas, to the slippy European roads that become an ice rink once they get a drop of rain. Abnormal weather conditions can create the perfect stage for an epic day of bike racing, or for daring attacks. But on the other hand, they can result in a nasty dose of karma. Can someone remind me how Astana's downhill Tour de France attack ended up? So there we have it. 5 reasons that pro cyclists crash so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. We sat around, had a coffee, and thought back to all the times that we crashed. But what did we forget? What's the craziest crash you've ever had, or one that sticks in your mind from a pro race? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe to help us support the British racing scene.